back. We are hosts from Reykjavik Open 2015, Fiona, Steil-Antoni, and with me, Ingvar, Johannesson.
Yes, excellent.
And we're gonna jump back straight back into the action. We saw one decisive game already, board one. We had a look at that before the break. Mehmet won his game very convincingly. Gonna have a look at another game that's already over. That's board 18, Sebastian Mazet against Michael Murray.
Yes, he's from Canada, and I think this is at least his 4th year in a row playing here. I played him 4 years ago, and I've seen him every year since. Very nice guy, and I know he opens. I had white against him, so I know he always plays knight c6 on the first move.
Mm-hmm.
I think no matter what you do, he plays e4, knight c6, and d4, knight c6, and same with c4. But against c4 he transposes to normal lines e5. And we have a quick typical English opening. White expanded on the queen side.
Sebastian Mazet, who is the coach of the French Olympic team.
Yes, yes, yes.
So he does know his openings.
He knows openings quite well.
Yeah.
And
another frequent guest.
Another quite frequent guest. He's played many times in the Reykjavik Open and in the Icelandic League. And played very recently in a close tournament in Bunratty in Ireland with two of my fellow Icelandic chess players. It was a funny tournament because I literally knew almost everybody in the tournament. It was Simon Williams, Luis Gallego, etc. But okay, let's see what happens. Queen takes f6. So white gives up the bishop pair, but usually in these lines his compensation is a strong diagonal and the control over e5 square. So queen a4 has been played here, and now the threat is b6 check. And should black do nothing about this threat, then maybe we can take with the queen on a7. And there's no way to stop the
pawn from promoting.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So black castled, getting out of this annoying threat. Knight e5, queen d8, and now b6 using this annoying pin of the a pawn here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is maybe even game over here, because if you take, then just knight b6, and you can't really move the rook because we just win some material, and then b7 is going to be weak. I'm going to win some more pawns, I guess. So I think right here black is already
in trouble.
Yeah, might be just losing. And he elects to give up the exchange here.
Yeah.
But we can take on c6, and yeah, now we don't even have equal pawns, so this looks like game over. I played some further moves, f4. So black lost all this material, so he has to go for an attack. That's what he tries.
Yeah.
Yeah, but notice that white is fine to give the exchange back if you take on d7. We just probably take with the bishop, and there doesn't seem to be any special way to prevent this pawn from simply running up the board. Well, it's supported by this bishop here. So it didn't take, and we have sort of a similar theme. So up a bunch of pawns, and the a pawn is going to be really tough to stop.
They're opposite colored bishops, but 3 pawns is a lot.
It doesn't matter with so many pawns, also with the rooks on.
Yeah.
Just means that it's easier to attack. So yeah, our second decisive result of the day.
We had one special request for you on the chat from Johannesson, who wanted to hear what the Icelandic language was like. So he asked if you could just say the Reykjavik Open is a stunning chess event in Icelandic for our viewers out there.
Reykjavik Open stórkostlegt skákmót.
It's a very beautiful language.
Do you think I said that or said something else?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
I would trust you, of course.
Oh, no.
So next we will go to board 2.
I was fair and square.
Stefan Bergson against David Navarro, a game we couldn't bring up earlier, but that we should have now. Yeah.
And what we have is simply
a double rook.
We have
ending.
the webcam going strong here. David on the left, Stefan on the right. Behind them we see some local players shaking hands, and these guys play every day on. Do you know the billiard bar? We were the last year for a closing ceremony of the league, and they're playing there every day, almost 3 or 4 hours, just blitz. The people, I mean, we had the opening ceremony. We have Kazan Illuminjov here, and he said in his opening speech, he reminded people Iceland is the country that has the most grandmasters per capita. So that's quite an impressive stat. And not just that there are many grandmasters, but people are very passionate about chess. There was a big chess boom after the 72 match. So let's have a look at this ending. Let's just focus on the current position instead of going through the whole game. Black is a pawn up here, if I'm counting correctly, which I think I am. Yeah. And it's probably, is it an easy win? I'm not sure, but he has more active rooks. But he can't really do any damage right away to the deep pawn. We could defend it. Yeah. But most likely he will advance. Black will simply start advancing on the king side with his pawns and bring his king. You know, this is a kind of position where I think if Navarro was white and Stefan was black, it'd probably be a draw. Yeah. But defending a rook endgame with the pawn down against really a 2700 player is no fun. Yeah. Can't really move his king anywhere. C-file is cut off. There's no active plan really. We see Björn Torfinsson on the webcam looking at the game. I am Björn Torfinsson, recently made a Grandmaster. Won the Banretti tournament with 2 points ahead of the field, I believe. Way ahead of the field, and his performance rating was, I think, 2680, something like this. As we see Alienov walking by, Stefan looks quite tired. I'm wondering what he was up to last night. But we have this position on the board. So F5 he played F5 instead of rook C5. No rush to play rook C5, you can always play it to put pressure on the pawn. Yeah, he will probably advance his kingside pawns, bring his king up the board. Maybe the rook is more useful on the 4th rank. Yeah, white is not just his here pawn down, it's very passive. Yeah. Stefan doesn't look too happy. He's just waiting. Yeah. He's going to suffer here. See Elianov yawning in the background. Another player who came from Jerusalem. So, should we go back to our top board? Yeah, let's... no, not top board, sorry. Let's go to the 3rd board. Pavel Elianov here. I was confused because someone asked us to have a look at Mamid Yarov's game, but we did that just before the break, so not going to do that again. Already game over. Yep. And this position we left here after after A5. And okay, I thought he wouldn't play B5. I was just going to say usually this B4 bayonet attack was kind of a new idea, because usually when you play B4 you want to have A3 in or rook B1 so that you can capture on B4 with a pawn. So what people often did here was take on A5 and then play something like A4 and then bishop A3. And from there try to advance your pawns like this, something like this. But usually Black is doing well if White has to play B5 because of this C5 square. White doesn't really have any way to advance his pawns now on the queen side. So, but the thing here, the main difference is White can play his knight into E6, and once he does that, you have to
take.
Most likely take it, and now we'll take with his pawn. And now we have some other ideas of breaking through. I think that's what happened here. Knight d8, queen b3, lining up on this diagonal here, where we will sort of try and open it up with knight e6 and maybe a break like c5 if possible. Black goes b6, rook d1. Yeah, and what we see is sort of all the white pieces lining up and getting ready for this knight e6.
And we see Yuri Eik on the board. He's down to 18 minutes.
Let's see some further moves. Black went f4. And now the knight jumps into e6. If he couldn't jump into e6, let's say this knight was somewhere on f2, then black is doing great because there's no breakthrough on the queen side. And black will simply advance his pawns on the king side.
Yeah.
But as it is, white has this idea, knight e6. So he's pinning all his hopes on this. So white can attack the pawn, but now there's knight d5. So the question is, can we take this pawn? That's probably quite dangerous. I'm wondering if you can play a move like c5.
Yeah.
And doesn't seem to be time for knight takes d5. Bishop c4. And if you try to protect it, take with a rook. And things are starting to look quite bad. So that's his idea. So black is trying to figure things out in this position. White played knight e5, and yeah, he's well down on the clock, like you said. Down to 17 minutes. And they're on move 21, so still some moves to be made.
What's the current?
That's the current knight e5 last move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alienov seems quite relaxed. He's just walking around. We saw him also appear on the webcam when he had Navarro's game.
Yeah.
So if we can't take on e6, what are our options?
I guess
that's a good question. We can never take on d5 because then white has a protected pass pawn on e6. Do you have any experience playing against guys like this?
Well, I once played in the first round of Reykjavik Open back in 2010. I played against Ivan Sokolov, who isn't quite 2700, but he's still very strong player.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Like, they're just so good. The highest, the best I achieved was a draw against Ivan Salgado Lopez.
Okay.
Still feel sorry for him having to make a draw against me, but yeah, it's very difficult. Like especially when I played Sokolov, I was black, and these guys, you can't even prepare. They play everything. They know everything, and yeah. What about you?
I played some guys like Victor Bologan. I made a draw with some guy who was 26, 30 or 40. His name was Filipov from Russia. And also I played some, strong guys like Timon, who, well,
legendary
player.
Yeah.
So
what do you think is the best tactic against these guys?
I guess if we knew, then
we'd be competing for the prizes in there, not sitting in here.
But I think quite often the mistakes that us low-rated players make
is try to play for a draw.
Yes, both try to play for a draw and to respect our opponents too much. I mean, everybody knows this feeling. You're playing somebody really strong. You're constantly double-checking everything. Everything you're doing. Calculating variations again. And
I mean, that's a typical example of what we see here. Yuri was down to just 14 minutes after 18 moves.
Yeah, and most of the early moves were theory, so shouldn't be spending this much time, so obviously.
I think it's important, you need to remember that even though they're very strong, they are just human. And they, as well as everyone else, they do make mistakes. So just be confident. And
should we have, I want to have a quick look at Erik Hansson's game before going on.
Erik Hansson from Canada had a very nice tournament last year, finished in shared second place.
Yeah.
He's playing board 17.
Very strong player. And
can you tell us something about the white player?
Yeah, he's a local player from the north of Iceland, a town called Akureyri. And he's been improving fast. He's over 2,000 now. I think 2 years ago he was probably like 1,500 or something. So he's improving quite rapidly. And a very enthusiastic player. So it will be interesting to see how he improves in the coming years. We'll play a theoretical line in the Grunfeld. Really no secret. I think Erik Hansson is mostly playing the Grunfeld. And Queen B3 that he played here on move 5 is a line that has recently been recommended in many repertoire books, so it shouldn't be surprising to see him play it. And I think young Simon is he's rather well prepared. That's my feeling. So.
Do young kids get a lot of coaching here in Iceland?
Some do. I mean, it depends. Some do with the chess school, and for some it depends on what their clubs are doing for them. So it's not the same, but most of them, you know, get some good teaching. So Queen B6 and Queen G5, E5, attacking the Queen now. So blocking with the Knight. Queen A5. Maybe just preventing A5, something like this. But now Knight E8, he wants to take on E5 at some point, and first he takes on F3 and now on E5. And this sort of reminds me of a game Erik Hansson had last year against international master Dagur Argrímsson. They had the exact same pawn structure. Dagur castled on the queen side. And of course Erik won a nice game. So bishop c5 looks like white is about to capture the exchange here, but does black have a counter to this? He plays knight c6. Johannesson first attacking the queen. Queen a3. And now queen e5. Very, very tricky.
And white didn't
He didn't take on f8.
Why didn't he take?
That's a very good question.
Knight? Knight d4. Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, you have to take on f8 first. It may be black just wins it right back here with knight d4. I don't see a square for the queen, so we have to take on d4, right?
Yeah.
And if that happens, then black has a really strong piece here in the black squared bishop and has made great progress and should be better. So then a good decision probably by young Simon here, bishop e3, rook fd8, f4, queen e6, e5, and now knight c4. Here Erik gets rid of the bishop pair, and to my mind now I would prefer black because this structure here is nicely blockaded, and then the pawn is also weak here.
Yeah, reactivate his bishop via f8.
Yeah. You can stick a knight on f5, something like this.
Yeah. I can imagine, I can see the white king being in some trouble in the
black
not
has a
too far
safer
future.
king. This is could be a tricky piece.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
We had some more decisive.
Yeah, we had results.
Oh, let's go back. It looks like we had a result already on board 2. David Navarra.
Navarra here. We left after f5 and did.
It looks like Stefan just decided.
Commit some harakiri, or no, he just didn't want to suffer, so he simply resigned here after king f7.
It's a strange decision, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe king is coming, it's tricky.
I don't think. Yeah, he just
I mean,
didn't
obviously
suffer.
Navarro, I think would.
Usually you play
would
it out.
win.
You just
Yeah.
let them show you.
Maybe had a long night, tired.
Yeah, maybe at the long night and was tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Let's move on.
Another decisive result on board 14, Alexander Fier from Brazil.
Another
A very entertaining.
crazy attacking player, and looks like he did just that. He played. It's like the Trompowsky. I think they call this like the Neo Trompowsky or something. Usually you play bishop d5 with a knight and f6, but playing it here has different ideas. I mean, the knight hasn't committed yet to f6. So let's see what happened. But we're transposing now into normal-ish lines. We have sort of an exchange Slav now. But white can play f4, and the bishop is outside the pawn, so sometimes it's stuck here.
Yeah.
So maybe a small step there for Alexander Fier in the right direction. And now we have some complications. Knight e4, takes on e7, takes on c3, and queen to g4.
And now king takes.
King takes e7. If queen takes, then I guess his idea was to take first on g7.
On g7, yeah.
So king takes, takes on c3. Everything is still equal. Probably too dangerous to take this pawn on g7. Rook g8, and then we take on g2, and then it's white who's in danger. So he doesn't go pawn grabbing, goes queen f3. Knight e2, b6, castles, and black exchanges the light squared bishops. It doesn't look too bad for black, actually.
But yeah, f5 was played now. I think
yeah,
the
of course,
king.
he's f5. If he.
I think the king is just too weak
king is
still
the
on
problem.
e7.
f5, rook h8 to f8, knight to f4. Now we're threatening taking on e6 and knight g6. Yeah, now things are starting to go south pretty fast.
Everything just falls apart.
Yeah, already down a pawn, and the king is not in very good shape.
Never
there.
too happy having a king on e6 like that.
But there, it looked like he had a nice finish here. He played d5, queen c7, rook d7, and then rook e5, a nice finish. If the king moves to this side, we just capture the rook. And if you take the rook, we have queen takes e5. And the king can't keep up with this rook here.
That's
and
not
checkmate.
mate.
So
Yeah.
a nice finish by Alexander Fier, who didn't seem to have many problems in this game. Move on to another decisive result.
We move on, Polish, I am Jacek
Jacek
Stopa, yeah. Before we move to that, we have Snoopy in the chat asking you who you would like to win this tournament.
Who would I like to win?
Who would you like to see win the tournament?
I would like to see Hjörvar Steinn-Gretarsson, my friend, win. Or somebody Icelandic.
When's the last time an Icelandic player has won Reykjavik Open?
Well, Hannes Stefansson, he has won it many times. I can't remember even. He was joint first for 3 years in a row, I believe. And also Heiðar Steingrímsson managed to win it, I think 2009. Joint winner as well, but still good result.
Yeah.
And well, others, some older guys, of course, have won it, but Helgi Ólafsson is not playing this year. He played last year.
Yeah, he did very well last year.
Yeah, he did very well last year. I would have liked to have seen him play again. So let's move on to
board 22.
Board 22. Is he black or white?
He's white. The last board. Second.
Vikdal, Per Vikdal from Norway, probably. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit declined. Just normal development moves by white. Very solid, nothing spectacular. And this bishop is usually quite well placed here. If you want to attack on the queen side, it will help you to do many things. So black wants to exchange it, bishop d6, knight d7. But now white has what looks like the makings of a strong attack on the queen, on the king side, and also the bishop pair. Although for the moment this guy is not doing too great of a job, but it could certainly improve in the future. Knight d5, knight d1, protecting the pawn on e3, bishop d7.
I think this is a perfect example of what we were discussing before. When you play someone much stronger than you, like as black, you'd think you're doing all right, and then these guys just squeeze you, and this looks too passive for black. Yeah, this position does look passive.
It needs an active plan. He tries to find one, but
the bishop is very passive on d7.
Yeah, very passive bishop here on d7, and I'm not sure what pushing the a pawn actually accomplishes. Knight b4, this knight is pushed back to a bad outpost here. So I think white will try to set up and at some point push on the king side. c5, bishop tries to reroute. And now it takes, and now first of all the black squares are really weak, but most importantly he's just gonna grab this pawn, the upper pawn, and from there he's gonna continue attacking. Yeah. First we might think about protecting this, but no, tactics first, knight b5, queen d8, knight jumps into this juicy square here on d6, and now things are dropping off one pawn. This will drop off soon here. So, and black is still passive. And this is sort of how you don't want to lose a game against a strong player. You just do nothing. You're not killing yourself.
You'd rather go down in flames.
Yeah, at least make them sweat. Go down in flames.
Go h5, a5, like we said.
Yeah, well, maybe you have to check that one out. The h5, a5. See how he did. Yeah, exactly. Because black at no point had any counterplay in this game, and he's just waiting to be.
I think against
slaughtered here.
A lot like players who are a lot stronger than you. It is so much more difficult playing as black.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to. I mean, we did see on the top board, Gregory Lux, the French player, tried the Budapest gambit and didn't go.
Yeah, he just failed.
So it's difficult just coming up with the right strategy. You need to find the right balance.
But okay, yeah. Now he just has two pieces for the rook, and this is falling as well, and the king is weak. So game over, and we're going to move to Grandasson. We're hearing that he might be having difficulties.
On board 7, playing against Martinez Lopez. Where did we leave the game off?
Left around here.
Yeah.
And we thought he might put his king on g2, which he did. Knight e4, knight f3. So we sort of have, white has the space advantage, but black does have this nice knight here on e4. So I'm interested, it'll be interesting to see what happens. h4, c5, push the bishop, and then plays h6. We can't allow him to take on g7, so g6, and now c3. Of course you want to keep this pawn. It's a strong pawn.
Yeah.
Holding, while securing the space advantage. So rook c8, rook c1. I mean, it looks fine for white, I'm not sure. Maybe at some point the computer's like black, but...
Okay, so take on c5.
Okay, and now we see sort of this typical situation against this pawn structure, where white tries to control the squares in front of it, the black squares.
Excuse me.
Got rid of the black square bishop.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to control all these squares. The knight might come to d4. And the main difference maybe is that the f4 pawn might be a little weak. If we could put this pawn back on g3,
yeah.
we would probably be happier
yeah.
with our structure and we would have a nice advantage.
So,
but
he went
as it is, yeah, he will try to secure this f4 pawn, and yeah, I actually like white now. I think white should be better here. If you can take care of this, and that should be easy. And also this bishop is
yeah.
also quite bad. You know, with his pawn structure, it can be quite tricky. You can get positions like this in the French.
We don't have the clock times for this game, but
No, they were broken for this game.
yeah.
And now, yeah, moves like g5 are in the air. Only have to watch out for
G7,
the g7
yeah.
square.
The
Yeah, maybe
H6
not.
pawn
Yeah, maybe
is
not.
quite disturbing.
Maybe not a good move yet. Maybe bishop f3
Yeah.
first, something like this, so that he doesn't have knight e4. And yeah, this is weak as well. So I actually like white a little better here, but yeah, I mean he also maybe has to be careful as well.
Yeah.
Because if he opens the position up too much, the king here is quite shaky as well. So my feeling right now is he's going to win.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that later. We'll go to hammer next, board 6, and maybe after hammer we can have a look at the a5, h5 game on board 5.
Definitely.
So
hammer time is on this board.
Yeah.
The Norwegian hammer. We left it at queen b2, so they used up a lot of time here.
Yeah.
We have rook d8, e3, getting ready to develop this guy, I guess. Knight f6, knight d2, knight c6, knight 2 to f3, takes on d4, and bishop d7. Now the last move is queen a3. Yeah, I think we have the current position on.
It's interesting that John Ludwig is down to 26 minutes already.
He was behind on the clock quite early in the game, so.
Yeah.
So we have an attack on the e7 pawn.
Yeah.
And the question is, do we want to move it?
E6, maybe.
Because once we move it, we also weaken some
dark
squares,
yeah.
on the diagonal. Yeah, I guess the big question is e5 or not.
I think white is doing quite well here.
Well, it seems quite solid.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to think about moving this pawn here because, like we said, you leave some weaknesses and white can already attack it, so like knight f3. You have to be careful.
Yeah, we see John Ludwig on webcam here.
But maybe this is okay for black, something like this. And rook c8. I mean, okay, black shouldn't have any problems, but maybe the question is he any better? He plays e5, yeah.
He played e5, yeah.
Probably looked like a principal move.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll come back to this one because I think there is going to be likely to be some time trouble.
Yeah.
In this game, they still have to play 24 moves. So yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll just quickly go to board 5, and we got a request for board 10 next. So board 5, we have Movsesian with the white pieces. And his opponent played some very interesting
that was the
opening idea.
a5, h5.
Yeah.
So we had this position. Rook h6, so.
And we have GM Alexander Fier joining us on the chat.
Okay.
So, welcome.
Welcome, Mr. Fier.
You should come to show us your game instead of coming to the chat. So, if you do want to come back, show us your game, you're very welcome to.
So rook h6. using that h5 move finally.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Use the moment that White put his knight to d2, closing the diagonal.
d5. White took on e6. Queen takes. Pawn takes b5. Takes on b3, and yeah, black plays a4 here. A Scherchen took. As otherwise we take on a5 with well, the pawn up and a better structure. So black tries to make something happen with a4. But now f5, attacking this guy. And either he ignores it or doesn't notice. Probably ignores it, but this is looking quite bad for black.
Yep.
To be perfectly honest, he's down material, and White sort of joins in on the joke. Black went a5, h5, but now White has sort of similar pawns here on the 6th rank.
Slightly more dangerous.
Slightly more dangerous, and cramping down on the knight who can't move. So, yeah, shouldn't be much more from here, and just calmly moving the king. I mean,
look at this poor knight on g8.
Just pick up this pawn. This knight is going to be lost quite soon. Yeah, they're still playing. I felt like it might be a game over, but let's see. Rook b2. And we have
probably going to be game over quite soon.
King takes c6 and knight takes a3.
Yeah. So White is an exchange of he's a pawn up. And
yeah, and
black.
If you take here something like this, we're threatening just to attack these pieces here.
Yeah. I don't think
it's also knight d5 takes f7. Complete disaster right now for black. Should be game over soon.
We have, I asked Alex if he wanted to come back to the playing hall to show us his game, but he thinks the winds are so strong, he might not even be able.
Yeah, he might.
But he promises to come. I'm not sure he promises, but he'll come tomorrow if he can find us. Yep. We put a sign on the door saying commentary room.
To the playing hall.
Yeah, so you should be able to find us.
But yeah, I have to plug this. Just received my copy of this.
Yeah.
This is the first first book, and well, there are going to be two. This is the history of the Reykjavik Open. It's in Icelandic by Grandmaster Johannesson, who played last year, a very strong player, and also a very good writer. He wrote a book on Fischer, and he has an exceptional memory. So a very nice guy to read books about.
Yeah.
Well, from. I should have a name here. Tabula Gratoloria. Oh, can't pronounce it.
Very nice.
It looks quite nice.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to looking at that. So yeah, if you want a copy, if you're collecting books, I mean, it's in Icelandic, but has some nice annotations that should be easy to figure out anyway, and some nice games. Because we have a historic tournament with many historic players like Tals, Mislov, and the legends of the past playing.
Yeah.
And it's a really important tournament for chess in Iceland. Both to promote the sport in Iceland, and also just because it gives our players chances to play against some strong players, and our young players a chance to improve. Because it's hard for us to go to tournaments abroad. Yeah. It's expensive. We have to get the flights.
I'm actually quite late with this, but 1 or 2 hours ago we had someone on the chat asking if there are any big tournaments in the summer in Iceland.
No, usually not. We did have one in 2013. We did have the Icelandic Championship as an open tournament, but we didn't have many players coming. Actually, I think it was only Mikey Groves. And
oh, let's use the opportunity, give a big shout out to.
Yeah, you better be watching, Mikey.
Mikey and
he must be watching.
All the other people from Scotland who are watching us. Callum McQueen, hi. So
we met some people from Scotland last night. Didn't you come with
yes.
us? Yeah,
I'm struggling to remember. I mean, we met a guy who pretended to be an
he pretended to be the Scottish champion from 12 years ago.
He told me to looking up.
He was a Scottish champion? Ah, you were. Do you know not too short?
No.
No?
Okay, so we had a request for board 10. Let's go to that. Abhijit Gupta with the black pieces.
Here you are. Former World Junior champion, right?
Yep.
And we already looked at this after bishop takes d4. Now the typical move, bishop c6. After which followed g4. We already said white would attack on the king side. Knight d7, f4, signaling a big attack on the king side. Okay, you have to turn off the reception of the moves. Bishop e3, queen g2, and now black took on f4, sort of securing this e5 square in some lines. Okay, you have to tidy up a bit before you get this square, but you can play rook e8, bishop f8, maybe at some point get this knight to e5, and you should be doing quite well. First move the queen, of course, but at least breaking up these pawns here for white. So queen c8 attacks the pawn on g4 right here. So rook d1, rook e8, and yeah, now black is ready if g5. Well, almost okay. I thought he could play knight d7, but d6 hangs. But we put the knight on h5 maybe. We also have some ideas or some lines to increase the pressure on e4. Bishop d3, bishop f8, yeah, that's what he did. Pressure on e4, and now g6. So he wants to reroute this bishop, but first we have to take care of this pawn. So I'm wondering how it does that. Queen e6, and now bishop back to d2. Well, sort of surprisingly, black hasn't really done anything on the queen side. He sort of just played against the white attack on the king side, trying to prevent it and then get some squares for himself. In the
I think white is doing.
Yeah, I think now he must be ready for knight d7 or.
You know, I think it's really striking. All the games we saw where the lower-rated player lost, all games were black. And we've seen quite a few games where the lower-rated player as well hold it.
Yeah, holding their own, yeah. Yeah, in general, it's, of course, easier to play with the white pieces. And, yeah, even the stronger players usually must, make some effort to win with the black pieces.
Yeah. Someone's asking if the broadcast is almost over, but we're only just getting started. Yeah. We're gonna stay here with you guys until the almost end. Yeah. At least until the most important games are over. I mean, we're still waiting for the excitement to start ourselves. So there are a couple of games I think where we might have some time trouble action.
Yeah, I wanted to find some games where.
Yeah.
We have a tweet. Another teammate of mine in the Icelandic League on his way to the venue doesn't seem to be going too well.
No.
This is an actual picture. It's not photoshopped.
No.
This is the weather outside. So
we had someone asking us what the temperature outside was. I believe it's around 0, maybe a couple degrees.
Yeah, it's
over.
cold, but it's not ridiculously cold.
No. I think the wind is the biggest problem, really.
I've seen worse, yeah.
It's just struggling to even advance.
When we have the wind also, it's like, and it's really cold.
Yeah. And
we have wind today.
So maybe, how about we have a look at Artur Yusupov?
Yeah.
On board 16, and I'll let you pronounce his opponent's name.
Does he have the white pieces or the black pieces?
He has the white pieces. There he is, in the middle. Yep.
In the middle, against Stanislav Schwendner. Okay, let's see what...
we haven't had a look at this.
Let's see what Arthur's up to. Arthur came here on Saturday. Picked him up at the airport, and it was really nice to chat with a legend of the game.
Yeah.
And he also had some lectures for us and for the Icelandic national team and for some national trainers. And both of them were really nice.
By the way, just briefly going back to the tweet we had about the picture about the bad weather, there will be a short video for you guys later on today.
Okay.
Showing you just how bad it is.
Somebody took a video of the weather?
Yes.
Ah, very nice. We'll check it out later.
Yeah.
Okay. So d5, symmetrical position. And a quiet build-up by Arthur, but he doesn't mind. He's a very strong positional player. Bishop b7. And here we sort of see, if you can remember Hammer's game, we sort of see the colors reversed here, where the white player in that game played b3, bishop b2, and we have the same situation here with the bishops. Knight jumps into e4. C takes d5. Black took on d2, and then on d5. Of course, white would like to keep the light squared bishop, so sort of almost a forced move. Bishop goes back to b7, and now bishop c3. Black can take on e5 and give white double pawns.
You don't really
you
want
don't really
to
give up your dark squared bishop, because you will leave your black squared really weak. So I don't think that's an option. Knight d7. We don't have many moves here. Is it possible that this game started?
And we also don't have the time situation, so
Possible it either started later or
they play it very slowly.
yeah, possibly they played very slowly, or even that the board is not working.
How about we have a look at Hjörvar's game?
Yeah, we have a look at
We haven't done that at all.
according to the website, Yusupov has 12 minutes left against 39, so it just seems like they're using a lot of time here. So maybe Yusupov is calculating too much, and he was talking about that in the lecture, so maybe he's not using his own advice. I don't know. We'll have to see.
So let's go to board 20, Hjörvar with the white pieces, and we are told that Erwin Lamy, who had already won his game, tried to go for a walk outside, but was seen quickly coming back in.
Maybe it didn't come back in, maybe the wind just blew him back in. I mean, it's tricky. Hjörvar.
So Hjörvar is you have the video showing you the weather conditions right here.
Wow. Oh.
Video was shot
5 minutes ago. By Peter.
Yeah.
That's just professional. Come on, that's nothing. That's like summer weather in Iceland. I don't know what people are whining about. We can also see, stuff bending, maybe breaking. I don't know, but we just build it back up. No problem. We're Vikings.
We're safe and warm in here.
So what's going on in Hjörvar's game?
So
he's playing the organizer of the Politiken Cup.
Last year, Lars Henrik Hansen played Erik Hansen in the first round.
Hansen versus Hansen.
Yeah.
Hansen against Hansen. And Hansen won, of course.
Yep.
So let's see. Should we go quickly over it, or? So another Botvinnik variation, which we had also in another game. And now the typical move f4, otherwise black might think about playing f4 himself. So blocking this pawn right now on the f5 square. Right back to f6, king h1. Usually a useful prophylactic move, and in this case it's immediately apparent because we keep this bishop on this diagonal, giving it this square g1.
Yep.
Black tries to go for the attack, rook f6, swinging it over to h6. White continues logically connecting the rooks. Black takes on f4, and white takes with the d knight. Maybe to keep an eye on the d4 square still. Yeah, now he plays d4. Plays into f3. And it's hard to increase the pressure on this for black. It's firmly defended, and it's difficult to add an extra piece to the attack. Meanwhile, white just centralizes his pieces. Queen d3. And, you know, it looks like black isn't doing anything much wrong, but it does have the worst pawn structure, and white is probably a bit better centralized.
Also, if black's attack on the king side doesn't lead anywhere, his rook will end up not doing very much on h6.
Yeah, and it looked like that's exactly what happened. Bishop e3. And yeah, now it's tricky. The bishop on this diagonal. Black has two heavy pieces on diagonal. Can't really do much about it, so he elects just to give it up. So we should have bishop takes h6 already in, and knight c3, because we don't want the rook jumping into e3. So knight c3. So it looks like a clean exchange up for Ingvar. And he should be doing quite well.
You can see the playing hall there on your screens. A lot of games are finished already, which isn't a big surprise. We started almost 3 hours ago, and as we said, the rating difference between the players today is quite big. But starting from tomorrow, especially since there is a double round tomorrow, so tomorrow morning, especially tomorrow afternoon, we'll see our first really interesting fighting games.
Yeah. A nice observation by Sean Lightbone on Twitter. Mamedyarov used only 6 minutes of his clock to win the opening round game.
You know, I'm not surprised to hear that. I first met Mamedyarov in the 2000 World Youth Championship in Oropesa, and already back then he was playing so fast, like he would never sit at his board. He would move and get up and pace around and come back, and I think he's a very good blitz player, one of the best blitz players.
He's so good that usually he can do that and get away with it, but sometimes it can be a weakness, especially when he's playing in the super strong tournaments.
Of course, you wouldn't see him do that if he was playing Magnus.
No, of course, but
so,
it can become like a bad habit. You play too fast.
I think again, it's just a question of finding the right balance. Like, you don't want to spend too much time. Like, there's one of my teammates in England, David Howell, is one, and obviously the most famous example, Gwishuk, who always, it's the most charming, Prince Charming, I heard. But yeah, so which game do you want to go to? Should we go back?
So a quick look at the list and see what. Yeah, here I should win this. We had Hammer. So we look at some new games. Quick look maybe at another teammate of mine who is looks like he's setting up for the next game the other way around. So it's
French player Mathieu Cornet.
Enrique Cabello Aguilar against Mathieu Cornet. Strong French player, and him and Grandelius from Sweden, they are on my team in the Icelandic League.
And Mathieu Cornet is another one of the coaches of the French national team.
With the women's team, or
yes.
Yeah.
So.
But this, at first glance, this looks quite bad for white.
It should be bad for white, yeah.
Black has, it looks like Benoni, was it? Well, almost. But where everything has gone.
It's very difficult to find a move even for white.
Yeah, could be like the immortal Sukswan game, the second one. White can't move anything. You know, the queen can't move anywhere here.
Yeah.
This is, well, tricky to move. We'll just take it. The knight doesn't have a lot of squares.
Yeah, this seems
it's
very
just a matter
critical,
of finding the knockout blow. And yeah, shouldn't be problematic.
So
also, if there are any game requests in the
you
chat,
guys,
we're happy to listen to them.
Yep. Should we maybe go back to? Oh, let's have a look at Hannes Stefansson.
Ah, the 3-time winner of the Reykjavik Open, already won.
Who also he won already.
Yeah.
He also played in the European Championship in Jerusalem.
Yeah. He had a good tournament until he lost in the last round, but had some chances to qualify. Quick look at this game, Sicilian. It seems like almost every Icelandic player is playing this this way in the Sicilian with black. B5. A very normal looking moves here, 95, F3. Look at the D1, and here black gets the D5 break. Usually when you get a D5 break successfully, you've at least equalized with black, so it looks like black is doing quite well here. Bishop takes D5, knight D4, bishop D6, lining up on the diagonal with this classical battery here. F4, knight G6. Okay, you close this diagonal here, but now you have this pawn that is attacked, and now you have another diagonal to worry about. So black seems to have a nice piece configuration. Now that this diagonal is fully blocked, he moves the bishop to another one. Bishop D3. And, well, white has weakened his king a lot with his last few pawn moves, so it makes sense to open up the position, E5. And taking this would be disastrous. We'll just give the knight an excellent square on E5, eyeing a check here on F3. So I didn't do that. We want the knight B3. And there followed some exchanges. And now Hannes took on B3, and isn't he winning a pawn on F4? First he played rook A E8, and now he simply took the pawn. Up a pawn with a better king.
I've seen a lot of naked kings today.
Yeah, too many kings like this, no pawns.
Yeah.
Take care of your king, people. We need the pawns. Queen B6. And black has more active pieces. This is just a matter of technique. And another pawn. And then he swung the rook over to G6. And a nice motif that you open up for the other rook if you take. Game over.
Nice game by Hannes.
Yeah, Hannes off to
a
quick and easy start.
Yeah. Before we go to another move, we had on the chat someone pointing out that Mamedov did not actually use 6 minutes. He used 43 because the...
Yeah, of course. Yeah, maybe 6 minutes went off the clock, but of course you get 30 seconds for every move, so it's maybe not 100% accurate, but
yeah. I mean,
he did play fast.
He did play fast, yeah. And we also have to give a shout out to Tom Bartel from the US, who I met back in the Isle of Man, who's watching us. So, hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom. Sup, man?
So where should we go next?
Should we see how Alyanov finished off?
Yeah, we will see board 3, Alyanov.
His game, we saw this position, and we figured that Queen E6 couldn't be played because of C5 opening up. A dangerous diagonal for the bishop. This looks quite bad, so he went bishop F6. And it wasn't a lot of moves.
Well, we saw black was already in time trouble as well.
C5 now opening the diagonal. Bishop comes to life.
Yeah.
And now breaking through. Now everything will fall apart. The rook is hanging, D6 will fall, and then everything just crumbles like a house of cards, and he forgot his rook here, lost his concentration, and game over.
Yeah. So we are told that after the game, Alyanov explained to his opponent that A5, let's go to the, A5 here was an inaccuracy.
Yeah, and he's saying that black's idea was something like this. Bishop takes, bishop h6. And now we get our bishop maybe to a strong diagonal if the knight moves.
Yeah.
And we have some ideas of our own, but Aliano said that b5 was simply a strong idea here. And I think we explained earlier the difference that, you know, since we have this knight e6 idea that we can close up on the queen side, and white should have a strong position.
Yeah. So let's maybe go to board 4. We haven't been there in a while. Runarsson against Melkumian.
Let's see if, yeah, we didn't have a lot of moves. Let's go back.
Missed a lot of action here.
Yeah, Runarsson was spending way too much time in the opening.
Yeah, okay.
And, yeah, let's go to...
maybe let's have a look at the current position, because white is down to 2 minutes.
Down to 2 minutes. He has, what, 2 pawns for the piece. And we have opposite colored bishops.
See the players.
This should be fairly easily winning for black. The only concern maybe is to get an ending where you have a bishop and knight, and you have to mate the king, but usually at this level,
I'm fairly confident he would manage.
That's not a problem. Yeah.
I think there was only one very famous case in a women's tournament where, I don't want to name and shame the wrong player, but was it Giria or someone who failed to convert, failed to mate?
I think it was... I totally forgot.
No, it was the Ushanina.
Yeah, she was current. It was current world champion at the time, so it was quite a well-known case.
But I do think that Melkumian would manage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So let's go. How about we go back to Niels?
Yes.
Niels Guandelius, board 13, playing Matthew Lunn from England.
Yeah, that was an interesting game.
Yeah. Oh, it's over already.
It's over. Yeah, he won. Yeah. Let's see how he finished it. We had castles, we had this position, pawn takes d5.
By the way, we mentioned that Niels was coming from Jerusalem, and his luggage hadn't made it yet. So when we went on break, before I went to the playing hall, and I had a quick chat with Niels, and he very happily told me that he found a Red Cross second-hand shop.
Gwen told me during the break also that.
Yes.
So anyone around with some nice clothes, please come to her.
Yeah, he simply went to the Red Cross and got some clothes, so he's
quite
happy.
He only does shop at second-hand shops anyway, so he was quite happy with that. So, yeah, we had this position. Well, we thought it would arise, and now pawn to d4. Yeah, we thought he might take on e4, but he went for d4. Now the knight has to move. Knight b5, queen takes b6. And perhaps black's idea is that, you know this with the queen on b6, you always have some dangerous ideas of pushing the pawn if the bishop moves. So maybe already you're threatening bishop a6, something like this. a3 was played, took on d3, and now bishop a6. Yeah, and a4. Yeah, if you take on b4, we see this idea with the pawn push. We take on d4, of course, and we just take on e2. You have to defend the knight, yeah. Yeah, but then d3. And black wins a piece and the game. So he tried to defend the knight with a4. But now knight d7, another idea to activate this threat, to put the knight on e5, attack the queen. So he moves the king out of the way, but still knight e5. But there's one dangerous pass pawn there. Yeah, now a tricky move. Bishop takes b5, accidental tactics, because if you take the queen, then we open up for the rook. And now all of a sudden the a pawn is pinned. You can't take the bishop. So this might have been a deciding moment of the game. Bishop takes b5. Now black just has too much activity.
The rooks can come to the open file. It's tough to
So
defend
also,
this. He went bishop f4, but now knight d3. Now bishop c5 becomes a threat maybe. When you have this idea of a check here. And it's funny that white is somehow still up a pawn, but he's going to lose after rook f8. We're going to take on e2. What can you do? He went rook d1.
I don't understand.
But yeah, he just resigned. Probably just takes on b2. Then no need to.
And what if, can you go back to move 22? What? Oh, and the bishop was
Yeah, the
hanging
bishop
on
hangs
f4.
if you move,
Okay.
move the knight.
Yep.
Yeah, if something like this, and then just take.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, let's.
Let's have a look at the results that have already games that have already concluded. So we saw the game by Mamedjarov, a very quick win. Stefan Bergson, who didn't want to suffer in a double rook endgame against Navarra, just resigned. We saw the game just explained, Elianov against Eik. Movsesian, that was the game with the a5,
double,
h5.
e5, h5.
Didn't go too well. And Gawain Jones, we could maybe have a look at Gawain's game after this, because it didn't work earlier today. Then Erwin Lamy won Niels, as we just saw. Alexander Fier, who promised to be with us tomorrow. Cornet, we had a look
already
at
won.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it should be over pretty soon, and it was.
Yeah, Eric Hansen won his game. Sebastian Mazet, Stefansson, and Ingvar won his game as well. So no upsets so far.
No.
We have
we
Matthew Lunn in the room. We were just having a look at his game 1 second ago. So yeah, where do you want to go to?
Let's. Do we have a look at Gawain's game at all?
Yeah, we can have a look.
Can you see? Was he black or white?
Gawain was black.
Black here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see this one.
Yeah, we didn't have the game on earlier.
So typical anti-Sicilian by white. And e5. Okay, Gawain decided to fianchetto his bishop, g6.
We are told there is now sunshine outside.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was told.
You can actually see it in the playing hall. You see the sun coming off to the side.
I was told the first time I came here that you can easily have like 4 seasons weather in one same day. So
they have
in an hour.
they have a typical saying here in Iceland: if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. And usually that's accurate. So knight c3 was played, e6. Already white is almost lacking a little bit here in development. Knight d7 hits the rook, which has to move again, goes to e3, looks like a rather weird square. Queen decides to hit it again, and now knight e4, he wants to make a check here on d6. But Queen took on e3 nonetheless, played king f8, and now he has this Zwischenzug to take on f2. And
Gawain won a pawn,
yeah, black won a pawn, but white wants to activate his bishop with d4. And I guess the idea is to give a check on h6, but he played queen before check.
I wonder why he didn't play bishop h6 if he did play d4.
Yeah, it looks natural, but I guess we can just go king e7.
Yeah, there's not enough pieces to attack the black king.
Here.
Everything's under control.
Yeah, everything's under control. We have ideas of d3. If you take on b7, we have rook b8 and takes. So
when queen b4 check?
Probably going just calculate accurately that he wouldn't have problems here. King to e7. Now we have some ideas. c2 is hanging. d3 might be a threat.
Another naked king.
Yeah, too many naked kings today. And usually by the lower-rated people.
Yeah.
So queen e4, queen f5 check goes for the ending. After all, he's up a pawn after all this, and now he has protected past e-pawn, which he might be able to use, and I think he did. Protects d4, and white is, to my mind, he's a little bit too passive too.
Yeah. And those pawns will just,
yeah,
especially after c4.
And now the pawns are just coming, e4, g3, improves the king. So it looks like a rather easy game for Gawain. Yeah. Here the pawn comes, rook c2, d3, and resigns. I guess, for instance, king e4, king f3, something like this. There's nothing going on. Black just wins.
Let's go back to a game. Do you remember the game where both players were very short on time? Was it John Ludwig Hammer?
Yeah, yeah.
On board.
Get the hammer time. Hammer time.
So.
Hammer time.
So John Ludwig.
We'll after e5. And
John Ludwig's down to 8 minutes.
Fiona?
Yep. So John Ludwig's down to 8 minutes. His opponent's down to 17. They still have to play 19 moves. So it's slightly surprising to me.
Yes.
To see,
would you prefer to have 8 minutes or 17?
I'd go for the 17.
Yes, me too. Excellent choice, Fiona. Excellent choice. So knight f3. This is what we thought. Queen e6. Rook a to c1. It's a fair question though, because some people prefer time trouble.
Yeah, I always thought players. Junkies. We mentioned Grishuk before. Like he plays excellently once he gets down to his last minutes. So
let's see what happened. The queen is attacked. The knight is attacked. The knight is defended. And queen b2.
I still think white is doing solidly here.
Should be solid, but
I can't really see. What do you think is black's plan?
Or maybe knight g4. Get the knight to e5 is my first thought, but I mean, it's not the end of the world for white.
I would quite like as white to get my knight to d4 maybe. Maybe I could go knight h3, knight f4, knight e2.
Yeah,
knight d4.
It would be quite a nice piece if we could put it here. But it takes a long time.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we have that time.
A radical solution to the problem.
By my mouse. Queen takes g5. No, we don't want to do that. We want to delete a remaining move. Yes. So now it's correct. Do we have a move?
I think John Ludwig also, if you look at him, he doesn't look too happy.
Queen b2.
It's deep in forwards, checking his clock. His opponent, on the other hand, looks quite relaxed.
He looks quite relaxed.
You can see on your screen behind John Ludwig, that's Magnus' father there.
Yeah, on the left.
Yeah.
Do you remember who he is playing?
He's playing Jean-Pierre Leroux from France.
Yeah.
So we still didn't have a look at his game, so maybe go to Henrik Carlsen.
Jump to that one.
And come back to this game later on.
Let's come quickly back to this one.
There's someone in the chat saying there should be a hammer variation. So maybe John Ludwig.
The hammer variation?
Yeah.
What did you play? I played the hammer. I would play it. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, that's on your webcam, on your screens. Henrik Carlsen, kind of low definition.
Yeah, but he's still there, and he has the white pieces against Jean-Pierre Leroux. And we had a chat yesterday. That might be one of the most French names ever. Jean-Pierre. He agreed, by the way, so it's okay. So d takes e5 was the last move by Henrik. The material is equal, but
none of the players moved 23, and none of the players have castled yet.
I actually hold the world record for neither king moving ever.
You do.
I played a 47-move game against Johannesson in the Icelandic Championship.
Did you win?
I lost, but neither moved the king. But and we didn't realize till years after.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. But anyway, yeah, I like black here. The knight on e5
Yeah.
is.
Do you think Magnus will be watching his father's games?
I'm not sure. It could be a bit frustrating for him. I don't know. But he's coming here. Yeah.
He's
later in the
coming.
tournament,
Yeah, we did say that he's coming 3 days from now. So hopefully have him on the show. But
yeah, you probably at least have a look at his games.
did you see his live commentary in Reykjavik this year? He made a very quick draw against Ivanchuk, and he was great. Some people were saying he should.
Just quit chess and
Yeah.
yeah. If it gets too easy, then maybe you can think about that.
So yeah, maybe get him on the show. But we did say he will definitely be at the football. So
yeah.
some interaction with the players who are here.
But I like black here, and the question is if we can play d4 right away. Attack the rook. Maybe.
Okay.
Because if e4, then there's eternal pressure on this pawn.
Yeah.
We have a really strong knight on e5.
Do we have a choice instead of if we go back?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe we can castle and try to win the pawn later.
Yeah.
Something like this. And maybe knight c4.
Yeah, surely you must be able to win the pawn back.
Yeah.
Because I guess black now has to take. You wouldn't want to allow.
No,
maybe
f7 will be hanging.
Yeah.
So maybe castles. And we can attack this, but black can also defend, and there's also the c5 pawn that could also fall. But yeah, it's still Henrik is hanging around, and I mean he's spotting his opponent 600 rating points, so probably doing better than expected so far. And with a reduced material, there's always.
We have Sarah Carlson on the
draw.
chat asking us if she wonders if Magnus helped his dad prepare for this tournament and gave him some tips on how to win fast.
No, I think Magnus is a bit of a joker. I think he prefers laughing at his dad. I know he likes with his sisters. He just laughs at how bad they are.
But I think he is also, despite laughing at them, he is being quite helpful.
Yeah, of course.
I have seen him analyze with his sisters on previous occasions. So. And he is really a joker. I've once seen him play on the ICC on his dad's account.
Yeah, okay.
Playing against 1,400 players, so does like to have a laugh.
But he was actually playing recently online, and some people thought that for the first 10 moves he would let somebody else play, and then he would take over. So he was playing really funny moves like h4 rook h3 or something.
a5,
and then,
h5.
And then he would all of a sudden start playing really strong.
Okay, so we like black here, but
we like black.
Henrik has.
He already played d4 now.
Yeah.
So I think black is doing well here. Probably should win, but we'll see how Henrik manages to fight.
Let's see what else is still going on.
Should we see if Hammer has moved, or do you have other suggestions?
Let's go to Abhijit Gupta.
Okay.
On board 10 with the black pieces. Playing James Chan.
Yeah, we had this position, bishop g7. And we were wondering if he would ever start pushing on the queen side, and finally he did here with b5, h5, b4. And yeah, he can take the pawn on d5, but okay. White can win back the pawn on b4, but that's too dangerous probably, because black will get the b file immediately. Probably this rook, just so that white is not exchanging.
And then push the pawn up the board.
Looks too risky, and black isn't even sacrificing material for this. So he decided to sack the pawn, but he's trying to get an attack on the h file. Bishop b5, Queen h3, but yeah, he's down a pawn and his pawn structure isn't great. So he went for the ending. He thought his best chance was to try to hold in the ending. And rook e1.
And Abhijit didn't want to exchange
he didn't want
rooks.
to exchange the rooks. He went rook b8. Now rook e7, and I believe that's
the current position.
yes.
So, what do you think? White is quite active.
Yeah, I think the pawn will count. That's my initial feeling. Just play bishop e5. And we can also, well, okay, we have to worry about maybe some ideas like rook a7.
Yeah, I think Abhijit will still have to work.
Yeah, he might have to work a bit more than I thought. But there's also like, this f pawn is ready to run. So maybe g5 is a good move by white.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that g pawn. Would you leave it on g4 or would you go g5?
It's tricky, actually.
Because it might become weak.
Yeah, if you play g5, it could become weak because it's on a black square like the bishop. On the other hand, if you do nothing, like, and maybe you can push a pawn. I'd prefer to get the king active first, but maybe it's difficult to achieve. Maybe we can put it on e6 first and then push it.
Maybe if we go g5, black can just play bishop g3 and bishop h4.
He did play bishop e5, that's the current move. Well, maybe the pawn becomes too dangerous, the f pawn. I think the extra pawn will decide this game.
Activate your king, push the f pawn.
Yeah.
I think we'll still see some struggle here.
Yeah, of course. White will keep fighting, but I don't think he will succeed.
We can maybe go back to hammer, see how that's developed. Board 6.
Meanwhile, we're playing the moves that we predicted, bishop e5 and rook a7. Hammer is right here. And what's going on? We have some bunch of moves here. Queen b2, we left it here, knight d7, f3. Trying to things up, and Johan decided to seize the queens. And after f takes e4, he played pawn to d4. Now if he takes on e4, he simply lost the pawn. So he played d4, trying to, I guess, secure this knight on e5 and get a d file for his pieces.
Things are looking...
It's interesting though, he's giving him a good fight.
Yeah.
And Ludwig doesn't have a lot of time on his clock.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Jon Ludwig has played some good tournaments. Definitely, but he finds his form here in Iceland. So I'm wondering if that's going to continue right away in the first round. We'll have to see. Okay, if we take on d4, rook takes d4. Okay, at least we're going to get the d file.
Yeah.
So now white must take probably, and now rook d2 is coming. So maybe it's just fine for white.
I mean, he is a pawn up.
I mean, for black.
For black, yeah. Do you think he has enough activity?
Yeah. Because we're already threatening maybe h6.
I think this might be one of our only upsets of the day.
Yeah, possibly.
I think white has decent chances here of at least not losing.
Yeah, I don't think black is in any real danger of losing. Just a question of if he can get active enough here. I have a feeling he's active enough to back the pawn at some point, but still, you don't want to be sacrificing pawns against low-rated guys, so I think we should keep going.
The players still have to play 13 moves. Jon Ludwig is down to 4 minutes.
Damia has roughly 12 minutes. against Hammer's 4. And let's see.
He's about to move.
Yeah, he took on d4. I didn't really see another choice for him. Rook takes d4 rather calmly. And now what? Now he probably must. Let's get the current position just to see what's going on. I think he has to contest the file immediately.
Yeah.
We can't allow black to get the rook to d2 too easily.
But also, do we have to defend the e4 pawn, because is black maybe just threatening to play h6?
Yeah, maybe.
Just take back. I don't know, can we play rook e1?
This one?
Yeah. Oh, he's just played knight f3.
Okay, does he want to
simplify?
Want to simplify? I don't think Jon Ludvig has an option here. He took on f3.
Yeah.
And now I think he must take on e4, but is there a trick? Can we play c3 if you take on e4? If it takes e4, c3.
Nice. Yeah. And the rook has no square to keep defending the bishop. So I really like right now. He managed to simplify the position. He's just a pawn up.
It's a pawn, but it's still a weak pawn. Maybe.
Because if black plays rook d2, I might play rook f2.
Yeah, I agree. I would play that. And then simply, if rook here, then maybe the other rook, and then just play the other rook to f2. And try to free my position. So bishop takes f3, the current move.
I don't think...
Tricky.
I cannot see Jon Ludvig winning this game from here.
No. And also, even if he could take on e4, which he can't, I would just have a double rook ending with equal pawns. And it's always going to be hard to win. Yeah. Black, if this was the case, maybe black has some advantage, because there are some weaknesses here, but it would always be tricky. And like we said, first he has to win the pawn, to begin with.
And I think the body language of Bennett, he still seems confident. He knows that he's a pawn up, that he's doing well. So if that ends in a draw or win for white, it will be a very big upset.
Yes.
The rating difference is over 600 points. So
Hammer is thinking he has only 3 minutes left.
And Hammer doesn't look happy at all.
As he probably shouldn't be.
I think it's hard when you're so much higher weighted to just switch your mindset from playing for a win to playing for a draw. Like you have to, it's not easy to give in and admit to yourself you can't, realistically you should be going for a draw. And Jon Ludvig recently has been in our shoes quite a lot, working for Norwegian TV, covering Magnus games on all the big tournaments. It's really big in Norway. When we were there for the Olympiad, they had live coverage daily for several hours. So very big chess boom.
A very big, nice studio.
Yeah. So, should we maybe come back to that in just a minute?
We play rook e8, attacking the pawn. Okay, yeah. So, it's tough to...
Years ago it happens, this Chinese made a draw in the first round.
Oh, just last year I think.
Last year?
Li Chao made a draw last year in the first round.
It was like 500-600 gap.
And went on to win the tournament.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily a death sentence.
Might be tactics.
Yeah.
Jon Ludvig.
That's a good point. The winner last year, drew in the first round.
Yeah, and also Li Chao, also last week, he drew his first round in the Capelle tournament and went on
to win as well.
So
maybe it's a tactic.
Yeah. We can call it the Li Chao tactic.
Maybe. It's called the Li Chao gambit. Replacing the old Monrad gambit.
So So what's still going on? Can we maybe sort the games according to result? See what's still going on? Yeah.
Yeah, or
Let's
there's
go.
a lot of people watching this one, yeah, and the second most people are watching this one.
Maybe let's go back to Granda Zuniga.
Yeah.
Board
Has
7.
he finished? No, he's here.
Yeah.
Julio seems to have
So is a pawn up.
a winning position. Pawn up, better king, more active minor pieces.
Yeah, that
This should be just game over in a few moves, actually.
that pawn is gonna somehow promote soon. White
Yeah,
might play just
if-
bishop c6.
If we go pawn grabbing, we just probably were close to queening the pawn. Yeah, this looks
It looks over.
almost no reason to
Yeah.
dwell on it. So
No.
let's move on. Yeah, we did mention earlier
Yeah.
how the Swiss system works. That
The
in the first
rating
round,
gaps, yeah, the rating gaps are explained by the fact that the Swiss system is used, which means like if you have 100 players, which we don't, but just to explain, number 1 will play number 51. So as there are such a big variety of players here, a lot of very strong players, but also a lot of beginners.
Yeah.
So that explains the gap in the rating.
So usually the first round is it's very interesting for the players in the middle because depending on if 1 or 2 people drop out of the tournament, you will either play the top seed or you will play somebody at the bottom.
Exactly.
Play Mamadjarov or play some child. So
Yeah. We had Matthew and Grant in the room earlier, and their rating is very close. They have maybe 50 points difference between them, but Matthew was playing Niels Grandelius and Grant was playing a 1,000 rated player, so it does make a big difference.
So now we have Gunnar Freyr Rúnarsson with white against Hrafn Kulmian. We had this earlier where I stated that black should win.
Yeah, board 4.
Rather easily, and we have them on the webcam right now. So it's white to move. You have to address the attack on the pawn on f5. Very simple threat here.
Yeah.
And
How do you defend the pawn?
yeah, if you defend it like this, then you lose this one.
Yeah, and if
Then
you
we have very strong passed pawn, and if you go the other way, I think we can safely take it.
Yeah.
And f takes, we just probably take here.
Yeah, and if you take with the
Take
h
with the
pawn
other
again,
one. We just run.
yeah.
We start running.
We
h5, winning.
I think black is quite happy that the a pawn, the a1 square.
Passed pawn must move. So I think black is simply winning here. Gunnar, down to 8 minutes against an hour and 15 minutes.
Another fast player here.
Yeah.
Although they did already get the half an hour addition.
He looks a bit bored, actually, front waiting for the game to finish. Shaking his head a little bit, yeah. Should be game over. I don't see any way for white to fight on here. So what do we have?
Maybe go back to Hammer or Henrik.
Hammer,
Up to you.
Henrik Carlsen. What happened here? D4. He played E4. 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 Must play castle. Castle by white. Excellent move. So, strong knight on E5 for black.
Yeah.
And I don't like the weakness of the C5 pawn here for white. However, both players do have around 5 minutes left, which suggests that Henrik's opponent has been treating this game seriously.
Yep. So I played rook c1.
Still holding onto the pawn. Active rook. Bishop a6. Rook c6. knight to c4, and the knight jumps to f3.
Some tactical phase here, but I'm afraid...
No, of course we can't go to the corner.
No.
That allows mate in one move, which immediately ends the game.
Yeah.
And king f1. Yeah, probably the game is getting tough for
Henrik.
Henrik here. Then we can just come back and then see what we want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe even rook f6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe.
rook
Yeah, the rook
f6,
is hanging.
the
Yeah.
rook is hanging, yeah.
So knight f3.
And the game is over, actually. Let's see what
yeah, the
happened.
game is over. Yeah. Let's go back to the live broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
Knight f3, king h1. That's probably what?
He probably, I think e5 is because they put the kings to e5.
Yeah.
But Henrik
so
probably
you think he hung
just,
mate in one?
yeah, maybe Henrik, because king f1 would be losing anyway, so maybe just allowed mate.
Sometimes it's a way
It's a
to
nice
resign
spot.
just to
Yeah.
allow mate.
Yeah.
I've done that
Yeah.
from time to time.
So let's see what else. Let's go back to Hammer, board 6, who's struggling.
Struggling mightily in what could be the only upset on the top boards.
Yeah. Okay, so we had some developments. Let's go back a few moves.
We had rook e8. And let's see, rook c to d1. Rook takes, and okay, now if you take on e4, then there's really isn't any imbalance to work with if you want to win. So at least he tries to get a pass pawn with f5 using the pin on the e pawn. So most likely he wants to take with
the
a pawn on e4.
Yeah. He's down to 1 minute and 50 seconds now.
Yeah.
He still has to play 11 moves.
Unfortunately for him, it's
Still, it's not a situation you want to find yourself in the first round, playing against an opponent who is 600 points below you. You can see one of our producers on the webcam there having a look at the games. Just walked by.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering
So
why.
I think let's stick with this game. You see
Yeah.
Bennett standing up, still looking relaxed. He'll probably be quite happy with the draw.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So let's have a look, maybe.
Yeah.
If pawn takes.
It's tricky. I would like to bring my king, but I don't want the pawn to
Advance too much.
advance too much. But maybe it's just weak if you go here.
Yeah.
On the exchange, we can just round it off.
Yeah.
Come back with the rook and just win the pawn.
And the problem is that black can't really avoid the exchange because the b7 pawn.
So maybe that's why he's
Would be
thinking so
hanging,
much. Maybe even the idea of taking with the pawn is not as strong as you thought. He's down to 30 seconds.
He looks.
Stop.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Must make move.
He does look nervous.
He's very nervous right
Very
now.
nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seconds. Gotta make a move. And if you don't play e3, then we just play king e3. He played king f2 and then g5.
Instantly
Wow,
played
instantly,
by John
yeah.
Ludwig.
I wonder what he...
It's the kind of move I'd never see coming as a player. You like, hadn't
I
even
guess
thought
his
of
idea
that.
is that if we take, then he's just going to bring the king to capture this pawn.
Mhm. What if we could just go king e3?
Instead of taking, or...
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And I just want to play rook d4 next.
I agree, maybe he... Yeah, it's always tricky.
I'm not too sure what black is intending here.
Let's say he takes and tries to get the h pawn. But we can even like make this check and protect the h-pawn.
Yeah.
This is a very weak pawn, so I don't know. At least he made him think. So how many moves?
I'm gonna look up who this Bennett guy, where he's from. We haven't talked about him at all. He's putting up, showing a great performance so far.
Yeah.
So he's from Spain?
Yeah, but he lives in Iceland. I think he's
Oh,
studying.
you told us. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. My mistake.
I just can't get it. Why didn't he take on G5?
Yeah,
He
we
didn't take on G5.
We didn't look at
He made
it.
the move.
King E3?
He played King E3. No, he hasn't played.
Oh, he didn't.
No. We could have a look at it.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at. And we have some results coming in. We'll go to those games later. Naroditsky won his game and Granda Zuniga as well.
Yeah, we had to look at Granda. I was
Yeah.
completely winning.
Yeah.
Naroditsky, did we look at him at
And
all?
he did take on G5.
Okay, yeah. So now, does he want to play rook E5, takes G5, or does he want to play King G7?
Oh no, he
and then
didn't.
take-
That was our analysis. Sorry,
Oh,
getting confused.
yeah. So this is still on the board.
Okay, my money is on King E3. I think he'll play King E3.
He's down to 5 minutes.
Yeah. I just don't see how John Ludwig will defend that pawn. But okay, let's have a look at taking on G5. So what could
How many
be
moves left before the time?
8 more.
G5 was the 31st.
Nine more moves. So it's not an easy
Yeah, the
task
problem is,
in that
let's say,
position.
like rook here.
I have the other guy for.
We have the main arbiter of the tournament watching the games in the room with us here. And we're wondering if he shouldn't be doing his job.
He was asking us how many moves to the time control, and Peter pointed out, isn't that your job? But he's got puppets, you know, working for him. Very, very efficient.
So he now did play.
No, I'm just
still
looking at-
not.
yeah. So, okay, we get the pawn, but there's something like King F4. And still, problems with the
Yeah.
e-pawn.
The problem is that the bishop is just not very active on c6.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really doing
It's just
anything.
passively protecting the pawn. There's not really much going on. Is this an idea to bring the king? Still, it looks too slow.
Yeah.
Okay, if King F4, we can make a check and take the pawn, but what happens if something like this? King F5, maybe? But that still doesn't really accomplish anything for black, other than just holding on.
The problem is that black doesn't have any entries into white's position at all. The f3 square is covered. I think if black ever plays rook f8, we could just play bishop g2, cover the f1 square.
One question though is if we take now, black can go for the g3 pawn.
Yeah.
So then the question is the c pawn faster or the h pawn?
Oh, he did play king e3.
I think
Anyway.
the h pawn is faster, and especially since we promote with check, even without calculating. King c4 takes b4 h5. Yeah.
So let's go
Should
back
be
to the
okay
game.
We have a move.
Yeah.
He played king e3. He didn't take. And king g7 immediately. Yeah, so he didn't take on h4, probably because this idea of rook g1 to g4 was probably strong.
Okay, so what if I go rook d4 now?
Logical move. Logical move. What's the idea here? Does he want to go for the ending? Does he have time for that?
White is now down to 3 minutes. John Ludwig has 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, they would have to calculate, you know, some pawn ending here.
Yeah.
Bishop takes e4. We can maybe get one tempo here because White has to unpin. And yeah, maybe black is doing okay here.
And white did play rook
Played
d6.
rook d6. Okay, cutting the king off. Playing this quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the pawn ending might be good for black because you have the outside pass pawn, so you can just run.
I think the main problem is just that black doesn't have any active plan here at all.
Yeah.
All his pieces are stuck to the defense of the...
Yeah, they're both stuck defending the pawn.
Yeah.
So if he does nothing, then white can start thinking about expanding on the queen side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's come.
I'm starting to think John Ludwig might even be in some danger of losing this game.
Yeah.
Serious danger.
International Master Spinal Tap is saying looks like only white can win this.
Yeah.
I think I might agree.
Yeah.
Should
I think let's stay with them until the time control is reached. There's only 6 more moves and both players are very short. John Ludwig under a minute might...
Rook e5, yeah, we'll just jump
So
to the
the-
web, come again, rook e5. He took an h4 first and now rook e5.
Okay.
Okay, white has to be
Careful.
careful. No, he has a weakness.
I guess black wants to
Well.
play rook h5.
Mm-hmm.
But what? I was thinking of playing king f4, but I'm not sure how good it is now.
King f4, maybe we have to tricks and traps.
That is a nice
Stop the
trick.
pawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back a couple of moves.
Yeah. Maybe it was not as clear as we thought. Because of this pawn ending, it was maybe a nice idea if it's working for black.
And Bennett is now getting close to the
Yeah.
2-minute mark. I don't know. Should we have another look at the pawn ending? If he did decide to take the e4 pawn after, for example, rook d4, rook h5.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's maybe a little bit different. Or is it coming go now? King h6. So something like this, and then take.
Yeah. Problem is, okay, let's just have a look. c4, or what do you
Yeah,
want to
maybe
do?
we should cut the king
But
off
we can,
first.
yeah, we can
like
play
this.
king f4. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, he did
it's
play.
just white who's
He did play rook d4.
maybe white just holds with this idea. Maybe it's
Yeah. Might be winning.
might be winning for white. We don't get out. We don't get out of here.
So rook d4 was played.
Okay, could be a problem.
And
King
John
h6.
Ludwig does play king h6.
So I mean, okay, we'll take on e4. Take on e4. White is winning. Are we missing something? Bishop takes e4. King h5. King d3. King d3.
Can we maybe, instead of king d3, play king f4 just to force black to take? Or does it not make a difference?
Yeah, shouldn't make a difference. We take anyway. And let's see.
So
He took an
he
e4.
just took, yeah.
So this is starting to look rather forced, and now king f4. Is black having anything? I mean,
what if I go king h3? Ah, but then you just go to
White has
g5.
a-
No, but you can
yeah,
go to g5.
yeah, and I have at least a draw if I want.
Yeah.
Just king f3.
Yeah.
That probably could be winning, but the king is
It's
coming.
a race,
you know?
yeah. We'll,
know,
we'll let the players figure this one out.
If I was low on time,
Yeah.
I would probably chicken out
Yeah.
against Jan Ludwig.
Still have to make. He did play king h5.
Yeah, let's get the current position again. But okay, I think
They still have to play moves.
think the ending is king
F4
king f4. Yeah, okay,
was
forcing the
played.
issue like we thought. Rook takes e4. Rook takes e4. How many moves do we have now? We're closing in.
So they
on
will now reach the time control and have enough time to figure the pawn ending out. Okay.
king takes h4 and yeah, king f4.
And that's the time control reached, I believe. As expected,
Yeah,
as predicted. So Jan Ludwig has
I think
to
we
play.
have guaranteed our first upset. White can
Yeah.
probably never lose this.
So White has reached the time control. Black needs to play one more move.
And the question is also if White can win. Goes king h5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, king h5 played, so probably king f5.
Yeah. So we can go to. We'll come back to this. The players will now probably
Yeah.
take a long think.
Want to wait from the board, and they will.
Yeah. So we
Think
will go
about this.
to board 4. Melkumian with the black pieces.
Is that game over?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's the 6th down your list. Of fifth.
It's down, yeah. This.
Okay, so black was a piece up. We left this off
Somewhere around here.
somewhere around here. We were wondering how white was going to defend f5 pawn.
And he gave away the h-pawn.
Yeah. Doesn't look like much fun.
No, it's just...
And you can see the players checking the score sheets for some reason.
oh, they're still there. Let's see. Bishop d5. I mean, yeah, there's
Just over.
nothing to play for, really.
No. So nice game. Had to work a bit harder than some other GMs, but
Yeah.
fairly straightforward.
Do we have some games left?
Let's see what is still going on.
Ludwig, we haven't looked at here for a long time.
Yeah, so let's go to Hedin, board 11.
Distinguishing with the white pieces, and for now everything's equal, but he might be winning this e3 pawn.
Yeah.
We actually had a look at this game earlier after king h8, and here white went for the advanced on the queen side, where we thought black would at some point play b5 himself, but instead it's white grabbing all the space. And it's sort of a standard break in the Botvinnik, play d4 for white, and usually if you can accomplish that under favorable circumstances, you'll be doing quite well. E4 trying to block, but this, you know, leaves a lot of some squares for knight diagonals.
Yeah.
And let's bring c3, knight e6, d5. Black took on h6, and unfortunately we have to move the knight. We would like to play c5, you know, if we could structurally, but we have to move the knight. Now queen d2. I'm wondering if white could have taken perhaps on c6, but he allowed this, and yeah, maybe it's he's going to break through c5 himself at some point. Yeah, preparing that with rook c1. Wants to play c5. Okay, we're receiving moves.
You can see the playing hall there on your screens, and there's only very few games,
Yeah, the games are
still
starting
going
to
on now. There we had
drop
someone
off like flies.
on the chat asking us when we started, so it's almost 7 p.m. here now, and we started at 3. So
Yeah.
games have been going for almost 4 hours.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. So yeah, here it's just slowly building up.
Yeah.
It's like a typical healing game. He usually plays quite positionally.
Yeah.
Tries to squeeze his opponent, not take many risks. Looks like he's accomplishing that.
What does
He
he
took on d6. We just don't see why we don't take here.
Yeah. And the knight is hanging on f6.
White's up a piece. We do have this pawn, but I mean, if you push it, just bring the king to f2 and no problems. Okay, you get this pawn, but white should be able to work things out. Okay, let's say he takes maybe h4 first, possibly. Trying to keep this on bad. Okay, he can maybe fight a little bit, but the feeling is that white should be
The problem is black might also get some trouble
we have
with
this
it.
on the board. He didn't play h4, he played rook takes h5.
Maybe there will be some pressure on the g6 pawn somehow. Maybe play bishop f1, bishop d3 if possible. Bring the king.
Yeah. Even f4, f5 in some cases.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident. Right, we'll win this one.
Yeah, but I think he should have played h4 just to make it, because you can take this next move and just make it slightly trickier to activate the king. So I have a feeling that here then we'll activate this king now, play king g3 or something like that. So we have only these two left.
Yeah, let's maybe go back to hammer, see what happened there. Oh, later
we also have a quick look at...
Let's go to hammer first.
Go to hammer, yeah.
Yep. And then we come back to Gupta. So white is still thinking. I think white's probably going to be thinking for quite a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you play like a tense struggle like this and you are playing somebody that's strong and you get the time control, you will use your time.
Yeah. Oh, he's about to move.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you have? And
I still wonder if it has any way to win this.
Yeah. He might. Black 2 now.
Probably just go back, king h4.
Yeah.
My prediction is this will be a draw.
Yeah.
I think.
So let's see if... yeah, he probably has to play king f4. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 moves to queen. While we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So...
Okay, he just played king h4.
Yeah.
Do you think he will repeat now? Play king f4? Or take some time?
Take some time. Enjoy the moment, you know. It's not often that you get this type of result, so why hurry?
So we will come back to this. Maybe let's just see how Abhijit is getting on.
Yeah. So our prediction there is a draw.
Yeah.
Quick look at Abhijit, and we left it off at rook e7. We were quite bishop e5 actually. We saw these moves, and we predicted rook a7 and rook b5. And is he using my idea here of king to e6? He didn't have to because he left the 7th rank, so now we can play f5. Okay, plays d4, exchanges the, wanted to exchange the d pawn for black. Looks like the f pawn is too dangerous, as we predicted.
This should be
Easily winning. The only hope for white is to get the ending. Rook against rook and bishop. But even that, although theoretically drawn, it's very difficult to hold.
Easy,
It shouldn't be, but
my teammate in England, Keith,
he's
very
like
good friend,
plus 30 score. He's always bragging about it.
He's won almost all of them.
Yeah.
Very famous for it, but
yeah, he's a fantastic endgame player.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, I mean, for people who want to improve, I mean, he's the type of player who's winning all the time in the endgame. I mean, he's playing all these, you know, weekend tournaments, and
exactly.
he knows how
he
to
likes to exchange queens early and then just.
So he's like a good, you know, role player to look over games of if you want to improve your endgame. It's not always the top guys. I mean, there are plenty of really strong players that you can learn from. I think he's one of them.
Yeah. So let's go back to Hammer. We will wait for the Hammer game to conclude, and then once that is over, we will wrap up for the day.
Yeah.
And let us just remind you, we have a double round tomorrow with the first game starting at 10 in the morning local time, which is Greenwich Mean Time.
It's your department.
So first game at 10, second game at 5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
I think they have it on chess.com/TV. I think they have the schedule there. It's below the video. You can check out the playing schedule there. You know, confused with the time zone.
There's someone asking on the chat who they should look for, who the person was that we were talking about for the end game.
Yeah,
so that would be.
He should have won that one. The World Championship as well. He was unlucky.
Yeah.
He lost them. But he said he was co-champion in spirit because he drew for the round. Because they control the who won some, so you can't control it.
Yeah. I think Bennett here, I think he's not just, if he wants it, but he wants to make sure he has 23 minutes.
He's decided to make a draw here. He's just going through the motions, pretending to be like upset that he can't win.
You think so?
Yes, I'm sure. You know,
the thing is, if you, let's say you play fork now.
H5.
Let's have a look. Because what does black, can I go king?
Okay, we started, maybe...
It won't make a difference if I play king f4 first, does it?
Hang on a minute.
Instead of b4?
Yeah.
Might not make a difference, I'm not sure.
Probably not, let's see.
Let's have a look, king h3.
And if now, push,
yeah.
Now I'm going king f3. To go.
Now I can push the pawn.
Now you want to push the pawn. And again, you can't go king g1 because it's always the idea that we
king
just
g4, sorry.
pick up. So you go here. We
king f2.
Block it. So the only remaining idea is king here. And play for stalemate, but
there won't be any stalemate.
No, we could have actually, black could have maybe started with a5. Let's see, also like this. Just to have some stalemate chances, I guess. We go c5. Oh, it's black's move. We go c5. We go h3. We go here. But the problem is, we just go b6. We don't take back.
Yeah.
So we don't take back on c6. We go here.
Yeah. I'm starting to think.
I still wanted to make a bishop, but it's the wrong color. So here the best move is queen a7. Don't mate immediately. Enjoy the moment. Let him squirm. Maybe even one more move.
You do like to torture your opponents.
Yes. No. We mate.
He played king f4.
Okay. We can even make one more check. And then take. Very important. Enjoy the moment, guys.
So it looks like he's going for a draw. Should we?
He's going for
Yeah.
a draw. Let's see. Where are we?
I'm quite. You know, I will have a look at this when I get home. It was an interesting game. I wonder if well, I did have some winning chances or not.
Play king f4, but yeah, we just looked at c4.
I think he offered a draw. I saw him move and repeat the draw offer.
Yeah.
I think he thought John Ludwig might not have heard him. But even the second time John Ludwig didn't react to it, he's probably not very happy.
But he can't really do anything, so...
I think he's even lucky to get away with the draw, you know,
Yeah.
like he wasn't doing great. He never had any advantage throughout the game. Bennett played really well, so...
It's probably, c4 is looking quite good.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's a
we're
good
just
point.
told. Let's maybe go back, just show that moment in
Yeah,
the
he
game.
played, let's go back.
Move 25
Yeah, because
in here.
he took on e4. Yeah, the point is, of course, that he lost the tempo.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to move the king, so maybe we can push the pawn. Yeah, you d4.
Yeah, because the king is caught.
Okay, then maybe he was worried about black going for this pawn. The 8th pawn. I don't know. I don't know.
It's the kind of position where I'm not sure who is playing for
Yeah.
win.
But okay, we have an active king with threatening.
Yeah.
Looks very good for white.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, if he does nothing, then we can just have our pawns further advanced.
Someone pointed out on the chat the
True. That's true.
maybe that's what Bennett saw
Yeah.
and we didn't.
But I would still go for this variation rather than repeat moves.
Yeah.
You can't lose. King. So what we're looking at, c4, and I would with black other than he has to play a5 then if the stalemate idea is working. So where did I have that?
I wonder what John Ludwig is thinking about here.
So c4, we're thinking. Let's see the notation again. Where's a5? Here. I'm sorry if I'm going back and forth. Okay, a5. We have to push the pawn, a3. King h3, b4. Let's just, first show the line that somebody in the chat mentioned. Who was it?
Side knot acrobat.
Ah, side knot acrobat. He's a good player, I know him. Yeah, of course, black just plays b6.
Yeah.
And, very important to exchange the a-pawn.
Yeah. But wait, after b6? What if you... Yeah, b6? You can't be clever.
Oh, you're trying to get...
They did shake hands.
They shook hands, yeah. So are you trying to get clever here?
Yeah. But
Queen,
there was always... But I was actually... I wanted to go to... Instead of king g3, can you just go back 2 moves? Go to e2. Just so there won't be king e2.
Mm-hmm. King shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I have no. Now there's check anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So they did agree a draw.
Yeah.
We're going to show you the results of today.
Yeah. So double round tomorrow.
So the only upset, Abhijit Gupta is still playing. We predict that he's winning.
Yeah.
So the only upset of the day is the game we just played for the last hour. Bennett against Hammer, so really good game by Bennett. All the other players all had fairly convincing victories, no top player.
Steingrimsson is
still playing.
Is still some work. Fairly winning for Steingrimsson. And as you can see, it's back and forth, 1-0, 0-1, with the top player winning every time.
Yeah. So we will have our first interesting games tomorrow. Probably tomorrow afternoon.
The third round, the second round tomorrow.
We have mentioned before there is a double round tomorrow. First game starts at 10 local time, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Second round starts at 5, so it will be a long day, both for the players and for us.
Yeah.
But we hope you enjoyed watching us today, and thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to chess.com. Chess.com is social. Now you can play chess with your friends whenever you want, whether that's middle of the day or middle of the night. You can get instantly matched up with one of over 5 million other members from around the world. You play live games in real time, turn-based games at your convenience, tournaments with anyone at any time. Chess.com is mobile. Play online from your computer, or you can play on the go from your tablet or your smartphone. No matter where you go, whether you're at work, grabbing a bite to eat, or just enjoying some time at the park, your games are there with you, and keeping multiple chess games Chess.com is for everyone. Over 250 million chess games have been played on chess. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a grandmaster. Chess.com is the place to play and learn chess. So create your free account now and see what chess.com is for you. Chess.com